Hey, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home, and I want to talk about the most affordable square footage you can create in your home. Yep, that's right, the most affordable square footage you can make on your home. I'm talking about attic trusses here, and there's some tricks to using attic trusses to create more square footage at the best price you possibly can. I'm going to go over that in this video. This is going to be kind of a before and after. I want to give some introductions to it, what we're doing in this process, and we'll come back when it's all done, and you'll see the before and after on that, okay? Well, I've got two different trusses here, and I've got an attic truss. Actually, this here is a girder truss, this right here, and right next to it is a regular attic truss. A girder truss is nothing more than two trusses smashed up against each other. They're girdered, kind of like a girder belt. It's bringing things together. So I've got a regular attic truss here, and I've got a girder truss here. You notice over here that I've got another roof truss over here. This here's a scissor truss. This is for getting some vaulted feeling down below, all right? Well, the difference between this truss here and this truss is I'm standing inside a room that this truss was created for. The neat thing about attic trusses is I've got all this square footage, all this open space right through here. We're in the middle of framing, so we're kind of in a mess situation. But now you can see all the living space that I've created inside this attic truss, all right? Now keep in mind that when this truss is delivered, it's brought in with a crane, it's laid down, and it's tilted up. As it's tilted up, the floor, the walls, and the ceiling are all one unit. That's the benefit of an attic truss. So by doing that, I'm actually creating my living space at the same time. So as you look from above, here's the one thing I want you to keep in mind: how to keep the affordability on attic trusses as low as you possibly can. If you have attic trusses with an open space like this, truss after truss, and it's just one long room with an end gable that has an egress window, and that's the only window in the whole long room, that's how you maintain your costs really, really low. The minute you start cutting in, like you see all the open space above this house, open space here, open space there, all that open space, that's all stick built, because I'm having what I have shed dormers coming out. You could have gable dormers, you could have all kinds of dormers. But I chose to go with shed dormers. It's more affordable, it's quicker, it's easier to cut, easier to manhandle, easier on the labor. So I'm having all this open space where I'm cutting in, and that's hand stacked. So if you wanted to save money, you would avoid all that excess labor, hand stacking and hand framing, and then you can keep your prices low. So let's go to the after, when we're done with this job, and I'm going to show you what it really looks like and all the complexity on the outside, which hasn't really increased my cost because I've got a negotiated price on my framing. There was a total cost per square foot. If you can maintain that total cost per square foot with your framer, and they've included all these pop-outs, all these shed dormers, all the hand stacking of all that, then you can actually really negotiate and work on your cost per square foot. But if your framer doesn't work that way, and they're going to say, oh, it's going to be $100 for that pop-out, another $1,000 for that, this, and they start pricing things out that way, then you may want to cut back on some of that and just get the square footage in, all right? So let's go to the after effect when this is all done, this whole frame job, and then I can go through the whole, you'll see it now. It's kind of hard now because I've got so much open sky just exposing the entire upstairs on this. When it's all framed, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's come back in a week. Okay, we got all the framing done upstairs, and I just wanted to reiterate some of the things that you want to think about when you use attic trusses. We've got a girder truss here, which is two attic trusses smashed together. We've got another attic truss here, and we have our exterior attic truss over there. If all you did was this attic truss, which is really a single truss, this here is the truss right here. This is just furring. But if you just did this all the way, this entire length, that's more cost effective. But then again, you don't have light, you don't have egress, etc. So every time you do a cutout like this right here, this here's a large window, and it's also an egress window for a bedroom. Every time you do that, this entire section here has to be stick built. This here is just tilted up, literally tilted up. I've got the floor here, I've got the wall here, I've got the roof here. That's the neat thing about attic trusses. You tilt it up, you're creating all the living space at the same time. But again, every time you pop it out, that's where the increase in costs take place. Let's go upstairs on the roof, and I'll give you a really good visual of what I'm talking about. Okay, we're now outside. Right here, this section here, that's the main attic truss for the build. So if you can imagine, if this roof maintained its same plane all the way through, that'd be pretty affordable. But we popped out here, we popped out there, we got another shed dormer there, another shed dormer, another shed dormer over here. And every time you do that, you increase the complexity. Now, I like complexity because it adds character to a home. But if you really wanted to save some cost, you could just do attic trusses the whole length and make sure you have your bedrooms on those ends, and that's where the egress would be established at the ends of that long room. That's how you save money, but this is how you increase costs, is cutting it up. Again, this is the best, most affordable square footage you can create, is using attic trusses. I've done it countless times, multiple times through about my 25-year career, and I love using attic trusses, but they can also increase complexity. Just watch out for that. This is talking about attic trusses, the most affordable square footage you can create with how to build your own home.